Welcome to a retro game pickups video, but first we need to take a trip somewhere. Okay, so we are here at a charity shop and we're going to play a game of how low can you go? You ready? How low can we go? Jess, how low can we go?
We'll find out.
Hey, listen!
So, managed to get what I went in for, which is down here. So if you saw this clip in, God, my hair is so messy, what is going on?
The heat is so hot.
If you saw this clip in the charity shop hunts a couple of days ago, you'd have seen this Xbox 360e, and I mistakenly said that it was one of the first developed Xboxes, but 360s, but it was one of the last. So thank you, Red, for pointing that out. Got a deal on it. I'm gonna let you know what I paid, what it was, and how it unfolded. And with that, you saw me scour my greedy little eyes on this Xbox 360e, which I mistakenly said, as I noted, thank you, Red, by the way, this was one of the last 360 consoles ever developed. For some reason, I had it in my head that it was one of the first. This was launched at the I think it was 2013 E3. It was showcased and discontinued there shortly after. This needs a bit of a spruce, it does need a good old clean, but I managed to bag this for £35. Now, originally, in the last episode, it was actually up for sale for £45. So it went in today and it had been reduced to 40, and we kind of bartered on a how low can you go, and I actually kind of lowballed at 20, but we kind of met at 35 with an additional wired controller. So this is an official Xbox 360 controller, wired, albeit a little dusty. So I myself am pretty happy with this little purchase. There are more to kind of go through, but one thing I did notice as I was cashing out was the inclusion of a headset. So you can just kind of manage to decipher this. It is one of the really terribly tacky Xbox headsets that I probably won't use. I'll probably just, what am I going to do with this? I don't actually know what I'm going to do with this. If anybody wants this, you can have it. Please share the video and contact me if you'd like an original one piece, when I say one piece, one headset, one ear kind of headset, really old school Xbox headset actually. So I couldn't actually see that in the cupboard, so you know, I'll just give that to you if you want it. And then of course we've got all the wires, HDMI cable, and a wireless controller. Let's just check if the batteries, and this is a chargeable case, so it's not just the kind of vessel, the caddy for the batteries. This is an actual Xbox 360 rechargeable battery, so pretty darn happy with that, because the controllers themselves can go for anything between kind of £5 to £15 depending on condition. Obviously if you're getting a Microsoft Xbox 360 controller, they do go for a hell of a lot more. If you're getting a third-party one from China or wherever, which I have bought, you can literally get them so cheap, but they feel really, really light. These have a nice bit of weight to them. So picked that up. I did want it. I've wanted one of these for quite some time, but I haven't found the right price. There's less USB cables with this. There's only 4 as opposed to 5, but nonetheless, I'm pretty happy. So I have some thank yous to also kind of go through here, and I'm going to start by thanking Red, one of my long-time subscribers, for sending me a copy of Breath of the Wild on the Nintendo Wii. Thank you, Red, so much. He actually watched one of my last episodes in which I said I was waiting to find a copy at the right price, and when he offered to send it me for free, I actually said no, don't worry, you know, I feel really guilty, it's okay, I'll find a copy. But he was insistent, was the Red, the Lion King. You'll see him in the comment section below. So I'm actually so excited bursting with excitement to play this on a Nintendo Wii U. I've only played the Switch version, so this should actually be a really nice experience to sit down, and obviously I'm going to be using the controller. I don't think the tablet is as compatible unless you're using Amiibo, of course. So this is going to be a wonderful experience, and I think you guys need to consider picking this up for yourselves because it's going to become one of the more obscure and expensive Wii U titles as we venture forward into the next generation of gaming. Red was also kind enough to send me a boxed NES Mini Classic controller. He was kind of fretting about the damage on the box here, but I don't mind that, Red. I don't own a boxed one, so this is super gnarly. I'm really happy with this. Thank you so much. And all I can say in conclusion is, Nintendo, please can we have an N64 Mini? Please. Next up then are games that I've amassed maybe kind of off camera or I've acquired on £5 video game hunts that haven't been a part of the challenge, and we're going to take you through some of them now. Two of my little pearlers I'm going to show you first. We have Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future on the Sega Dreamcast, and I recently saw this on somebody's Instagram and it just looks so relaxing to play and not what I was used to watching at all on the likes of the Sega Mega Drive, which I still don't know how to play. Today, you take the role of a third person and you kind of have this almost like side-scrolly, side-swimmy levels as well. So there's a couple of varieties in the way in which these levels are presented, but it just is so relaxing to play, and I have been bursting to find this absolutely everywhere, and in the end I actually ended up paying, what did I pay? I can't remember what I paid, but I bought it from CEX nonetheless. I'm really stoked to have this. It's in very nice condition as well. Speaking of CEX, I finally caved and picked up a copy of Shattered Memories on the Nintendo Wii. I've been scouring everywhere for the right copy on the PlayStation 2, but that game has skyrocketed in price over the past couple of years to the point where I just can't justify it. So I kind of figured I would play this backwards compatible on my Wii U. If there's enough interest in this video, if there's enough interest in the comment section below, I will try and stream this from my Wii U. I've never hooked my Wii U up to my streaming software, but this is one of the, this and Silent Hill 4 are the only Silent Hill games I've never streamed. I've completed the majority of them right here as I stream here, but I've been dying to play this, and it's also out on the PSP, and a few years back I gave it away to my good friend in New York City, Lou, and part of me regrets that, sorry Lou, but I do, and because I've not actually been able to find it on the PSP either. Unfortunately, the case is a little bit tatty, and there's a little bit of ripping and tearing on the artwork on the back, but I'm just happy to have the game, and I think with a bit of spit and polish, this will clean up very nicely. Next up then is a game that I've reacquired after giving my original copy to my nephews. I picked up Splatoon on the Wii, this obviously being the very first entry game for me for Splatoon. I played this, I think I played it on launch, and then obviously, no, I played this on at Eurogamer way before launch actually, and I know a lot of people became familiar with the series when Splatoon 2 came out, which for me wasn't a huge upstep from the first. I actually prefer this. But like I said, I gave it to my nephew because he just absolutely adores the game. And if you've not played Splatoon, I urge you to go and pick up a copy. This only costs £6 from CEX. I picked it up on a £5 retro game challenge. It was one of those kind of off the challenge pickups. And it's just like giant paintball arenas. Whatever team you're on, you have a specific colour. And if your colour covers the majority of the map by the end of the game, you are a winner, and it couldn't be more simple than that. It's a great game with lots of eclectic features such as the characters, you can change clothes, shoes, you know, the different kinds of guns you have, paint rollers, you name it. Splatoon is fun and it never gets old. So I am very much looking forward to diving back into this on my Nintendo Wii U. Another game I finally acquired, and again you guys offered to send it to me, but I found a copy of Alien Isolation, yes! Believe it or not, I've struggled to find this. And when I have found it, it tended to have been overpriced. I actually found this on Facebook Marketplace for the measly sum of £5 in my local area. And yes, I have this on the PlayStation 4, but I really want to complete this on my Xbox One over my PS4. I don't know why. It's just one of those weird gamer quirks, I guess, that I'm just kind of feeling. But I have it now and I'm absolutely elated. And I will say this is one of the best games of 2014. The horror, the sound, the graphics, the tension, everything about this game feels right. And if you're a fan of the Alien series, movies I mean by that, you must play this. You absolutely must play this. Forget about Colonial Marines. This is where it's at if you're an Alien fan. Two games next that are completely unfamiliar for me, but I got them for £1 each. A very battered copy of Drakengard. And I say battered because you can see the case is pretty darn trashed. And I bought this for £1. I've never seen this about. I know it's worth a lot more than £1, but if I was to summarise what I think this game experience is going to be like, for me, it looks like an RPG, not turn-based, so kind of free combat RPG with lots of dragons. That is a terrible description of what my perception is, but I know there are good folk here that will destroy me in the comments, and that's absolutely fine because I am definitely no expert. I'm very much a noob in a lot. What just fell off that? The price just fell off that. I'm very much a noob in, you know, a lot of PS2 games because the library is so darn extensive. I wonder who has the most PS2 knowledge actually. I'd very much like to meet that person. But Drakengard is now in the collection, and again I will be replacing the case and sourcing a manual. With that little pickup, I picked up Myst 3 Exile, the perfect place to plan revenge. Myst for me is a mystery. Oh, you know it. On a serious note, I actually struggled to get into Myst when I was growing up, and I think I talked about the posters that we used to raid bins at Gordon Harwood's and pick out gaming posters. I remember specifically Myst posters being in the bins and me having lots of Myst posters in my bedroom when I was a little girl. How very geeky. But I kind of picked this up purely on the basis that it was £1, and if it's no good, then I've lost £1 and I held my hands up. I should probably just quit retro game hunting, and that's it for me. Thank you very much. Obviously, bit of humour there. Obviously, I'm not quitting retro game hunting. Hopefully Myst 3 will be great. Next up then, we have Kawasaki Superbikes on the Sega Mega Drive. Missing manual, but this was one that I actually picked up from Martin's DVDs in Sutton in Ashfield, which to my surprise had a decent amount of retro games, both cartridge and CD based, when I did a £5 Game Challenge episode a couple of weeks ago. Go and check that episode out. I'll link the entire playlist in the cards if you want to go and check out some awesome out and about stuff. So pick that up for £5, and I picked this up, this GameCube title, for £3.99. And this is a Freestyle, a motocross game, kind of like a very stunt-esque motocross over-the-top game, which I'd never played, and I really liked EA back in the day for the likes of SSX Tricky, and to me this looks like SSX Tricky but the motorbike version, so hopefully this will be a top-notch experience. Kind of kicking myself for this next one. The good news first, picked up Divinity Ego Draconis. So I picked this up for, I think it was £1 or £2 at max, and I'm like, yeah, this is cool, and you know, I'll give this a go for a couple of quid. It really caught my eye, and the downside is I got home and I noticed this little corner right here that says cover reprinted, and it's a flipping good cover reprint, CEX, but it really annoys me. I wish they'd just stop doing it, or maybe put cover reprinted in like bright pink or yellow so people can see it, because it's a reprint. And it's a good reprint, but essentially I bought an unboxed copy, which meant I also have no manual. So, Divinity. Many years have passed since the damned one defeated and banished from the world of Rivalen. I'm excited to play this, but it would have been nicer just to have an actual copy and not a reprint. Next up then is a PlayStation 3 game, DSX Human Revolution. We have the Augmented Edition here. Really do love me a good special release or limited release on PlayStation. And as much as stealth games aren't massively my forte, I wanted to give this a try because I've not played the PS3 version, and I really liked the everything that you kind of get in here. And obviously you'll see additional pictures, but there's some digital content which I don't overly care about. And then there's like additional missions, 44-minute making of the soundtrack, comic, you know, and really like cool things in there. So you're getting a little bit more for your money, and I believe everything is included in this. So some really nice finds here actually, guys, and I'm very, very happy as well. Just coming back to this first pickup with the Xbox 360e. Let me know if you think £35 is a good price with the 2 controllers, with a very basic headset. Remember, if you want this, share the video and message me with all the cables. Over to you. Do you like retro gaming pickups? Do you like out and about stuff where you're in the right place? So if you've made it this far in the video, I would appreciate you ending it by subscribing and leaving a like. I'll catch you in the next one. We have plenty of £5 game challenges coming your way with some additional car boot stuff. See you soon.